Hello.
You guys doing? Good evening, counselors. One more minute. Make sure you have your microphone on when you get a chance.
Do they have access to PDF forms for the ones on?
All the agenda.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't know because I got that kickback notice. That's from your email.
True. Find out what's going on there.
Well, I'll actually have a real email address for you here in like tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and bring our city council meeting for Monday, July 28th, 2025 to order. Let's go ahead and do the pledge, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Go ahead and do roll call here.
Want to steal this one for a while?
Okay, counselors that are online, you can hear me okay?
Yep.
Counselor Evans, I think you're on mute, but I can see you waving your hand. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do roll call. All right, Counselor Ray,
Present.
Counselor Williams, Counselor Myers,
Here.
Counselor Lindner,
Here.
Counselor Evans. Okay, I see you. Counselor Cuthbertson is not here yet. I think that's everybody though. Oh, there she is. Oh, and here she comes. Hey. We also have Sean Cross in the room, city recorder, Mark Murray, Public Works, and our new city administrator, which, should we go ahead and have you introduce yourself, sir?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you want to
Yeah.
call in our counselor?
We were just doing roll call.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Here.
you're fine. Counselor Cuthbertson.
Here. Sorry.
We're all here.
We're friendly.
No, you're fine.
Apologize.
We're good. We're happy you're here. Okay, sir, go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Thomas Fiorelli. I go by TJ. I am the new city administrator here with the city of Monroe. This is my third week in the role. I live down in Eugene, Springfield area, actually up in Thurston. And I am looking to relocate to this area. I just moved from Tillamook, where I've been running my own business, working with local governments around the Pacific Northwest for the past 3 years full-time and the past 5 years in total, while also working with some other local governments such as Tillamook County and some other folks up on the North Coast. My background is land use planning, so I also serve as the land use planner for the city of Wheeler, excuse me, the city of Monroe. And I'm very happy actually to be pivoting back to public service and working with just one individual jurisdiction rather than several all at once. This is an exciting opportunity for me, and I thank the council and in particular Mayor Sheets for all you've done to help me get onboarded quickly.
Thank you, sir. We're very happy that you're here, especially myself. Okay, let's see here. Let's go ahead and go into public items and comments. Can I have one of the counselors read section 2.1 before we dive into the comments?
I'll read it.
Thank you.
2.1 note, the public comment period is designed to gain input from the public. Public comment is not intended to be a dialogue between the council, staff, and any person making a comment. Any person who raises a question during public comment should rest assured that the city staff is making a note of your question, and the council and staff will work together to identify the appropriate city official to follow up with you directly.
Great. Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate it. Do you have any public comment this evening? Come on up. I'll have you go ahead and introduce yourself. I don't know. Do we have that mic on by chance? So go ahead and introduce yourself, sir, and you've got your 3 minutes.
My name's Jody Kahn. I own the storage units and a lot of other parts of Monroe. First of all, I want to give Mark here kudos for working with ODOT. Hopefully get that cleaned up down there. It's taken a couple of years. But kudos to this guy here for meeting with me on some problems down there by the storage units. Apparently this drainage ditch that runs from 99 down to 3rd Street and beyond, there's problems with the weeds. I get letters from you guys all the time. This last time I got a letter saying you're charging me abatement, you're charging me a fine, all kinds of stuff. This is a drainage ditch that's 8 foot deep, 12 feet across. Deeper in other places, water flowing through it now. So I go in every year, pay to have it cleaned up. Well, this year I didn't mow the city's part to help Mark out. So I think you guys can pay for it. I'm tired of the letters. I'm tired of being harassed on other things. And you don't even take care of other problems in the city. And I'm pissed. And I'm going to tell you, Dan, I've had enough of your shit. Both private and personal, and using public.
Well, it goes both ways, sir.
That's fine.
Okay, wrap
Clean
up.
up your mess. Clean up your
You
mess.
do
on the
yours.
other side of the
You
ditch.
clean up yours too.
I need to ask that we maintain
So
decorum.
I'm telling you, you guys, get it done, because I'm gonna follow everything on every one of you guys, the Ethics Commission and the DOJ. I'm done. I'm tired of being harassed. I'm tired. I've done nothing but keep that clean down there and have to work with ODOT. And if it wasn't for Mark, I would probably have to get an attorney to deal with ODOT. I'm tired. And Dan, how many times have I had to call the cops on you?
Really, Jody? You're excused now.
That's fine. I'm out of here. I've had enough. See you guys maybe in court.
All right, any other public comments this evening? Okay, I guess we will go ahead and move on. All right, we will move on to Benton County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Savage, you're here to give us an update. I believe we have in our packet the report as well.
My name is Greg Savage, Sheriff's Office. Thank you for having me this evening. Here to just quickly represent the Sheriff's Office, go over some of the things. I don't have the report in front of me, but I have reviewed it. I'm familiar with it. Looks like here in the previous month, pretty much business as usual. Had some calls for service, came down here probably about a dozen times with just different things that our deputies were handling with the citizens of Monroe. And then as well as our usual handful of goals that we try to prioritize here with traffic and enforcement. A lot of times that'll happen late in the evening, as I've said before, just, people will come up from Eugene or down from Corvallis or locally and kind of cruise neighborhoods looking for stuff to steal or cars to break into. So we really try to prioritize that and be meeting people out here. And then, yeah, a couple complaints from citizens that I've gotten recently, just saying that they're seeing more of those vehicles around at night, just going block by block. And so I'm sharing that word and making sure that that's a priority of ours, but we will tell you it's already totally on our radar, and we definitely do our best to contact those people and see exactly what's going on so that we can prevent the citizens from having things stolen or lives endangered. I think that is all that I have for the Sheriff's Office.
So I didn't realize on June 25th that livestock taking care of livestock was also in the job description.
Yeah, thank heavens I wear green and tan. It's good to go on Rainbow Cattle.
Right. Any questions for Deputy Savitt? Counselors online, you have any questions? All right,
Thank you, Deputy.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So next on the agenda is a water and wastewater infrastructure update. Now I know Mr. Schultz is not here this evening, but we have Mr. Murray here. And I know Chuck gave me a brief update, but I'm just gonna let you go for it, Mark.
I have not talked to Chuck this week yet, well, briefly. Sounds like we're kind of still in the same page, just moving forward slowly, trying to figure out where we're gonna go. Right now, we're kind of focused on a couple big inspections we have. We got one at the water plant next week, and then we've also starting one tomorrow out at the wastewater plant for a leak test. Right now, I think that's about it. I think the rest will be covered in your talk later.
Mhm. Yep, and that's exactly what Chuck mentioned, is what you said.
I have a quick question just about the inspection that's happening tomorrow. How long is that expected to take place?
So it's more of a leak test. So it's about a 14-day period where we have to just monitor if the
Yeah.
ponds are leaking or not.
So that's what's starting tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. But there is an inspection happening.
That is
correct?
next week on the
Next
6th.
week, okay.
Yeah. It's called survey. They're gonna come through and,
Is that by OHA or?
yeah,
who?
then run through the water plant. It's every 3 years. So we're just up
It's a
next
normal routine?
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. It's next week. Okay.
on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Public Works?
Good work, guys.
Counselors online, you have any questions for Public Works?
I don't. I have a question though.
Okay,
Sorry, not for Public Works. I'm looking for the agenda on our city schedule and I see the June 23rd council notice agenda, but I don't know if I'm just missing the city council meeting agenda for tonight.
No, Councilor
ahead.
Linder, you are correct. There is an error with the website that we were unable to resolve before the meeting.
Okay.
I have been able to access the website today and identify what that error is.
Okay.
And we'll be migrating over to the new site to make sure that that error doesn't occur again.
Got it. Okay, we have the agendas in our email from last Friday. Is that right?
Yes, those agendas are the correct agendas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
you're welcome. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and move on if there are any other questions. The city administrator's report, and it's in the packet as well.
Yes, there it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll just briefly cover what I discussed with council in the report. I'll provide a little bit of additional detail for the benefit of the public, particularly since this isn't available to everybody at the moment. I officially began my role as city administrator on July 14th, and I wanted to express my sincere appreciation for the warm welcome and support I've received from the mayor, from Mark and Public Works, as well as our staff, Don and Shannon, as well as Chuck, during this transition period. I'm honored to be serving the city of Monroe, and I'm committed to building a foundation of communication, organization, and forward progress. I want to identify some key administrative actions that I've already taken to date. So first off, land use and planning. I have registered with the Department of Land Conservation and Development as the planner of record for Monroe, and communicated and met with Patrick Weingard, the DLCD representative for our region, as well as connected with our regional solutions team to begin aligning Monroe's planning work with the state goals and with available resources. I've initiated outreach to council members, city managers, and administrators throughout Benton County planning and administrative staff, the regional solutions team, as mentioned, as well as the COG, as well as Monroe residents and business owners. I encourage the opportunity and encourage folks to sit down and meet with me and talk to me about the things you care about with regard to administration in the city of Monroe. We, as you all know from our last special session, considered a proposed development moratorium. Following council's direction, I submitted a 45-day notice to DLCD that Monroe is considering a temporary moratorium development moratorium due to known capacity issues in our water and wastewater infrastructure, and posted a draft notice as required by law. I'm recommending that council hold a special session on September 8th to formally consider and adopt the ordinance. And we have an agenda item specifically on this topic later. And for website, email, and IT transition, I've worked with Stan, who is our web support person, as well as Dave, who was our IT person, to identify several needed transitions. So the first is a new website domain and eventual platform transition. Those are in the works. My job is to make sure that that transition finalizes. Identifying a new web host and editing tool that will save time and comply with new Americans with Disabilities Act digital accessibility standards released by the DOJ and published just last year in February in 2024, giving all governments until April of next year in Oregon to comply. And we'll talk more about that when we have that agenda item come up. I've met with Civic Plus, which is the leading company that provides websites for local governments around the country, and obtained a quote, as well as what kind of services and additional features they offer. And also an email system transition away from GoDaddy to a streamlined Microsoft-only interface. With regard to grants, funding, and partnerships, I've initiated conversations aggressively with regional, state, and federal partners to identify emergency funding, technical assistance, and utility expertise to address Monroe's infrastructure needs, which are critical, as just mentioned. Currently, I'm preparing an application for the DLCD Housing Planning Assistance Grant, which is a small pot of money, but this will allow us to bring in some funding for long-range planning, housing strategies, as well as funding for staff or consultants to support us in those endeavors. Personal and internal planning. I've collaborated with members of the hiring committee who brought me on board to complete a 30, 60, 90-day goals document for city administrator performance. A particular shout out to Councilor Lindner and Mayor Sheets, as well as Kara. I'm so sorry, I always forget your
Williams, it's super easy.
Kara Williams, I'm so sorry. The three of you were instrumental in putting that together, and I want to thank you for that. And this outlines major deliverables, key milestones, and communication strategies that are going to help guide my work in these first 3 months. Some development and project management updates. I've met with Michael Bidwell on July 15th and July 22nd. He is and was our planner of record through it was very interesting how the timing worked out here. Unfortunately, Michael had some health issues and some family issues, which forced him to have to return to Kansas with very, very little notice. Thankfully, I had just come on board as the planner of record, so there wasn't a significant gap in that provision of service. And I actually had 2 days to meet with Michael to download what projects are currently underway. And then also track which applications remain incomplete and receive an official email handoff for all active applicants and records. So we're in good hands there. Public Works coordination, also a shout out again to Public Works lead Mark Murray. I toured the water treatment plant and wastewater facilities with Mark to better understand the existing system capacity, the current performance, and the challenges both systems are facing. I scheduled a meeting with a small utility support nonprofit called Moonshot Missions. They work nationally, but happen to be headquartered out of Portland, which is a wonderful opportunity. They work specifically with small public utilities around the country. They have a large grant from the Economic Development Administration to support small local governments in assessing what the challenges are and helping to put together what the capital assessment is going to be so that we can go to our funders and request those funds. And on a closing note, I want to just, again, thank everybody for the opportunity to be here. These first 2 weeks have been fast-paced, very focused, and incredibly rewarding. I look forward to continuing to work closely with the council staff and community as we move forward together. And again, I just want to reiterate, please feel free to reach out to me with any questions or feedback or ideas that you all have at any time. I do have a booking page, which I'm happy to share with you, and as well as business cards if you'd like to stop by the city hall or come and see me. I can give you my contact info. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions for our city administrator? He gave us a lot of information there.
Yeah, and I like the fact that it's all outlined too, so thank you.
Yeah, very cohesive summary, and it sounds like you've been really busy. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we have Oregon Cascades West Council of Governments up next. Yes, sir. If you could, that would be great.
Good evening, everybody. For those of you who haven't met me, I'm Ryan Vogt. I'm the Executive Director for Oregon Cascades West Council of Governments, and now also the Community Services Consortium. I'll talk about that in just a second, but with this transition, means each of the agencies now has their own agency director, and I brought with me Paul Egbert, the new agency director for the Council of Governments, and I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, Ryan. Paul Egbert, brand new agency director for Cascades West. Just finished my 4th month here and very excited to be with the Council of Governments and thrilled to be in Monroe here tonight. I grew up in a town in Idaho about the same size and been here in Oregon the last 3 decades. Love rural Idaho, love rural Oregon, and was excited to hear your report and excited about what's happening in Lynn, Benton, and Lincoln counties. And so I'm pleased to meet you all tonight and looking forward to working with you all. I would just mention that our 5-year economic development strategy for the region is open for public comment. So it's a great time to be looking at that and looking at the goals that we have for the region and see where there's alignment and places for opportunity to work together. So thank you for bringing me along, Ryan. It's great to meet you all and be a part of the work that's going on here. Yeah.
Thank you. What small town in Idaho are you from?
You know where Ashton is?
No.
Yellowstone National Park. So I grew up
Oh
with
yeah.
Tetons and
Yeah. Idaho.
Island Park, St. Anthony.
Island Park, St. Anthony area.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
So you know
close.
where Ashton is.
Cool. Very cool. My husband worked in Driggs and he's from Arco.
Yeah, I know where Driggs is.
Cool. Thanks for being here tonight.
TJ, do we have a presentation from them that we can share?
I didn't
Up to you may not want to.
do that.
So, again, thank you for having me. It seems like I only end up being out about once a year, but I'm always open to come out more than that. In your packet, if it doesn't come up, which is fine because there's quite a bit going on, I gave you Community Services Consortium's annual impact report. This is a report for the entire region. And I've only been in Community Services Consortium a handful of months. And so we may be looking at future changes to how that reporting happens. On the Council of Government side, those of you who've been in this journey with me for the last 5 years, we went from no report to a regional report that was also broken into counties to now regional report, county reports, and individual member governments, because I was really committed to making sure that you had an opportunity to take a look at, well, yeah, okay, great, Ryan, it's fantastic that you drove 2.9 million miles to deliver people to their medical appointments. What does that mean for us here in Monroe? Like, how many people are getting your services? What does your footprint look like in our community? So we do have a one-pager in there on last year's work in Monroe, and of course now we're in July, so it's a little bit stale. There's a couple of things I wanted to highlight while I'm up here. You have an extremely robust agenda. Mayor Sheets has asked me to keep this to less than an hour and a half. I promise I'll do that. But there's a couple of other things that didn't make that annual report that I think are really important to discuss for a moment, if I may. One of them is a handful of years ago, Mayor Sheets and I got together and started talking about some of the needs in the community. And one of the things we really started talking about is food insecurity. And you'll take a look at information both from the Community Services Consortium that provides food boxes, manages the Lynn Benton Food Share. There's food in the community as a result of those work.
And on the Cascades West side, there is work going on to provide food security as well. But the place that we were really focused on is the community center was doing quite a bit of food work here, but Meals on Wheels was not present in the community, not visibly present in the community. It was through those conversations that we kind of bolstered that work to make sure that we had a Meals on Wheels driver that would come down into the Monroe community. And to be clear, there was a real impetus on making sure it wasn't just the main street of Monroe, but it was really out in the surrounding areas. That's grown a bit. We have 12 consumers that are registered on our Meals on Wheels program. And we have somebody who comes down here once a week and delivers a week's worth of meals for each of those 12 consumers. So those people are moving to a new place of security as it relates to food. I strongly believe that there are more than 12 people eligible in this community, so there's work to be done. But I think, you know, that's a growth in progress. And I also wanted to mention briefly that Cascades West, through contract with Benton County, runs the Benton County Veteran Services Office. And there are 96 veterans in Monroe zip code. So again, there's probably outlying veterans that don't pull into that group. But we have a Veteran Services Officer, Mark Lipinskis, and if you have not had a chance to meet him, I guarantee you he's worth the 15 minutes of time to step out of your way and have a conversation with him. Honorable soldier and really committed to this work. But he now comes down once a month, the second Wednesday of the month, and we're bringing veteran services here, right? That's a commitment from me, is that everybody doesn't necessarily have to go to the Albany office, to the Corvallis office, or to the Toledo office to get served, but rather we've got a responsibility to be out in the community. And I think Mark is starting to build a following. I think people like hanging out with him. So wanted to put that out there. The new city administrator talked a little bit about having a conversation with some of our staff. Susan Patterson is somebody we brought on board this last year. I committed to this council at the time that I was really excited about this opportunity growing, where we were going to bring on somebody who could help chase grants for smaller communities, and that we were going to essentially fund that work while we stood it up. I know that she worked with the prior city administrator to work on a parks proposal, I think for a traffic walkway or traffic bridgeway, if I remember correctly. We got the pre-application done, and that was accepted and is waiting in the wings in case the city wants to move forward with that application. That application has a regular cycle, so it wasn't like we lost out on the opportunity. So if the city wishes to move forward on that. I would say that we are growing our city planning services, where we can go out and help cities with city planning, but you all have that covered.
Yes, we do.
But I did hear you saying that there are some unmet IT needs, maybe worth reaching out, and I can get you in contact with our tech services director, because IT services is one of the things we do provide for member agencies at a substantial discount. Whether or not it meets what it is that you're looking for, it's worth a conversation. And then on the services consortium side, Lynn Benton Food Share has provided this last year over 4,000 food boxes to Monroe residents, and those are about 2 to 3 meals per box. So that's over 10,000 meals that Lynn Benton Food Share has provided here in town. And in the housing area, also assisted 7 residents of the city of Monroe from preventing eviction. So there were residents that came to the Community Services Consortium that were at risk of eviction, and the housing stability team was able to come in and assist with back rent and forward rent to help stabilize people's homes. Our youth workforce and education program helped 2 young adults get GEDs, and also helped 2 other or 1 other participant in the work experience program find stable employment.
stable, unassisted employment. So just a handful of things that we have going on. There is a comprehensive report in there for community services consortium, and then I give you the Benton County report for Cascades West and also the Monroe report for Cascades West. And Dan really did not give me an hour and a half. So I don't plan to work those reports for you. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, or Paul's happy to answer any questions that you have. And of course, available anytime to either pick up the phone and chat with you, or come out and have lunch with you, or come back to another city council.
Counselors, do you have any questions for?
I guess I do.
Go for
So
it.
this is the first time I've actually heard of this.
Yes, sir.
So do we have this somewhere around town to where it's available for people to see visually and understand that there's these services out there available?
Well, that's a good question.
The report itself.
Well, just knowing that this is available to the
Services
community.
are available.
Yeah.
We would be thrilled to make sure that you have marketing materials that are available to you. We started going through a quarterly cycle of producing program-specific marketing materials and handing those out to all of the city administrators and stuff, in case you've got a bulletin board and you wanted to put them on or hand them out. And if those aren't readily available or visible to you, we're happy to connect with you to keep doing that. On the Cascades West side, really our largest footprint is seniors and people with disabilities. And so we're doing a lot of work in that space, everything from case management to keeping people safely and stably in their own homes, or for those people who need to transition to nursing homes, foster homes. We certify those homes, we help them get those moves. And then on the Community Services Consortium side, it's the region's kind of poverty fighting agency, if you will. So everything from food security to housing security to getting people back into the workforce. So
Okay.
We'd love to get you.
Go ahead, Council.
So when we pay for membership into COG,
Yes, guys.
is that different than CSC?
Yes, two separate agencies.
Okay, and so what does CSC, are we paying to be a part of that, or do we just automatically get that?
So Community Services Consortium is not a member agency. And so you do not pay for member benefits for Community Services Consortium. Most of the services that they provide are entitlement services. A lot of that is the same on Council of Government side. It's a complicated conversation because I've been asked to try and partner the two of them together and save administrative costs. Many of them cross over a lot of the same consumers. On the Council of Government side, we are a member agency, and so we have 25 members that all pay in a small portion of our dues. And what does that mean? Well, that means across the 25 member agencies, Monroe pays, I think, about $1,200 a year. We collect about $300,000 in membership dues. Most of that is used for matching funds, for grants and things of that nature. On a par to $300,000 of dues coming in, $70 million is our annual budget. So a lot of that money is going back into the communities.
But it's all the communities. That's not just Monroe can only access a piece of that. It's not, it's for all the communities that you serve.
That is correct. That budget is for the entire region. You get a sense of kind of how we're in the community right now from this one-page report. What a number of member agencies have the advantage of accessing by being a member are some of those services that are currently not being tapped into by Monroe. Like we do provide HR support a la carte at a lower cost to recruit for positions or help with performance appraisals or to help with doing salary studies, things of that nature. As I mentioned a moment ago, our IT department provides IT services to a number of our member agencies. City of Sweet Home engaged us in that 2 years ago, and they had been using a private consultant out of Eugene that was providing, in my opinion, some substandard service at a much higher price. City of Sweet Home now gets considerably more service for less than half of what they were paying in Eugene. And we've updated all of their computers, and they're working through the Windows upgrade migration right now. And we also do their fire department as well.
And we do have city planning that, again, we offer to a number of our member agencies. And then we have a grant writer out there right now that's also only.
Right, but if we didn't re-up with COG, we would still be getting these services that you're reporting on.
The core services, yes, you would still be getting those.
I just want to be clear on that because I want to make sure that we know the difference between the two.
Yes, absolutely. I think it's a fair question. One of the other kind of perks of membership, if you will, is that each member entity puts forward an elected official to serve on the board. Councilor Cuthbertson has been your city designee for some time now. And the board shapes the policy, the future, and the direction that the Cascades West is going, as well as buying into, what are the additional services that communities need, and it's that voice that comes to the table. So each of the member agencies gets one vote, one voice, one vote. But the secret is not everybody shows up. And so the people who do show up, their vote is much more powerful, right? If I only have 7 or 8 people in the room out of 25, that shapes who we are as an organization. So.
Okay, any other questions? For Ryan or Paul, or both?
I've got a very quick question.
Okay, go for it.
I appreciate that you're going through your 5-year economic development strategy. You're talking about the comprehensive economic development strategy, the SEDS, right? Who's our economic development district?
We are.
You are, that's what I was wondering.
We seat it. We seat the economic development district, but Lane is also part of it.
That's what I thought.
So
Okay.
Len, Benton, Lincoln, and Lane.
Perfect.
Okay.
And where are we currently in that process, in that timeline?
Sure.
Yeah, it's open for public comment now,
Mhm.
and then that plan is gonna be for the next 5 years, so 2025 to 2030. You mean,
I mean, so right, so the SEDS comes out every 5 years, but like the crafting of it, is it basically already crafted and you're looking
Yes.
for public input on the virtually completed
yes.
SEDS? Got
it'll
it.
be
Okay.
Finalized in September.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So it's in a late stage.
Okay, thank you.
But that team's been meeting for months to get to this point.
Perfect.
All right, any other questions?
I'm good.
All right, counselors online, did you have any questions?
Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for coming down. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me know if you need me back or have any other
Okay.
questions.
Of course. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. All right, well, that looks like presentation section of our fun is over. We're gonna go ahead and dive right into the consent agenda. So the following items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. If any item involves a potential conflict of interest, council members should so note before adoption of the consent agenda. A motion to accept the consent agenda is appropriate. Everything should be in your guys' packet. Yeah. I don't think they use that much anymore. Right. And Shannon, was this your first time doing the minutes for the city council meeting?
Yes.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very nice job.
Service called Otter AI. I had never heard of before.
It's a very,
helpful.
very helpful tool indeed.
Still took forever. You know, I guess that, but, yeah.
Tell all your secrets.
Is it, are we only looking at these three things?
We should have more than that.
I just,
Now, hold on.
the bills.
I think it's just the bills and the minutes. You got the minutes?
We got the minutes
Yep,
and I
minutes
only
are in
got
there.
lists for bills. That's,
That's all you have for bills?
because usually we have a sheet.
Oh, yeah, we usually have it. We just, okay. There isn't any more than that. Huh?
Nope.
Oh, well, it's gonna be a short one, huh? Okay.
So I don't know how we can vote on that. If we don't know what we're voting on.
So, yeah, we usually have a rundown of everything that
We're paying.
we're paying out.
Mhm.
And
Only see the two.
just see the two right now.
2, 3.
There's three. There's one on the
three.
back. They're hiding one from you.
Yeah, I find that hard to.
So everything I received is in the packet. I don't know if it was just a light month or.
Well, usually we have our ins and outs and everything.
Oh.
So,
We usually see everything.
yeah.
I see. This is my first time seeing this, so. See, what can we do? Is that Dawn on Hisense? by any chance?
I do not know. Don, are you on tonight?
Okay.
Apparently not.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing her on that one.
Well, it may just be minutes tonight.
So we can vote on the minutes, just can't do the bills.
Mayor, what I'd
Yes,
like to
sir.
recommend is that if you move forward with approving the minutes, I can circle back next month and ensure that everything that's in here is correct.
Okay,
And at that time, you can approve it then.
okay, so we'll have two sets next month.
My question then is, can we still sign checks though if we didn't approve everything tonight?
That's a good question.
Some way, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, I
we
do.
do checks every week
If you want
or
to.
every
What,
month.
what checks are we talking about?
No,
Payroll?
it's just expenses. This
Expenses.
is like BNI, Canon for the copier, test kits,
We don't have those expenditures in the
Right, so
consent
if we
agenda.
can't vote on them, then
Well, can we list those when we ask for a vote or make a motion to vote on the minutes and list out those bills? So you can write the checks.
I suppose, but you won't know what they're for.
You don't know what they're for when you look on that?
No, when it's on the sheet, it specifies who it's going
Oh.
to, what
Right,
the,
right.
Amount is.
what it was for and what the amount was.
Yeah.
We don't have anything on the floor in there.
Maybe we do. Do we hear?
Yeah, I think Don's pretty good about notating.
Usually the stubs have a small
Yep, she has some on there.
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
So I would say that one of you guys list all those once we make the motion.
Excuse me. What are you guys looking at? Was it emailed to me?
No, it's missing in our packets.
Councilor Evans, I can clarify. In the consent agenda, we should be looking at a number of items for expenses. They are not listed. However, we do have a stack of checks that should be associated with those that need to be signed. The question currently is whether we can itemize them verbally for the group and then vote on them individually. I'll also mention, and this is something that the mayor and I can discuss a little bit more in detail if you'd like, but what most local governments will do is they will simply prepare those for signature by two members of the board or the council and have an entire report that talks about what has been signed or expensed. You don't have to necessarily approve every single expenditure as part of the consent agenda. That would be a more streamlined and less challenging way to approach it.
I would suggest we do like I've done in the past where we had a dollar limit that was set for you had to approve it above a certain dollar.
And we have that too, by the way, in our policies, it's $5,000 for administrative.
But I mean, we could relook at the value of whether it's 5,000 or
Yeah.
now it should be 20 maybe.
I completely agree. I think streamlining that is a really good idea. I would like to tighten up the way that these budget reports look for you.
Mhm.
And so this coming month, look forward to maybe a little bit of a different format and a proposition that we try a new approach that I can provide a little more detail on next month. As far as the way we're doing it now, and Counselor Cuthbertson, what's your thoughts?
Well, my only concern is just if we're signing and sending out checks before we've decided that we're okay, it's hard to back the card up if there's a question or an issue about it.
Typically, and depending on the expense amount and what it's for, these are typically administrative costs that we have to incur. And we typically will bring those to the board unless it's something that the administration is not authorized to spend. We can be judicious about that for certain, but typically what you will see is just a list of expenditures and signatures, of course, for the board members or the council members to sign. We can talk about this next month. We can make this a discussion topic and get feedback
I think
and
it'd be a good idea.
emotion from the council. But as far as tonight, I recommend moving forward with your approach.
Okay, so we need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written and a verbal listing of all the checks that need to be signed, explaining the amount, the recipient, and if there's any notes on what it's for.
I'll second.
Okay, so we need to go ahead. Who wants to help me with this?
To list those off if you'd like.
Okay, that'd
For
be
the
great. I'm still recovering from the crud.
No
so-
problem. Okay. City Recorder, are you ready? B and I Hardware, $72.92. For hose end and sprayer and flagpole bolts. Benton County Clerk, $32. For Hinkle final payment. CIS, $24,471.19. This is for our insurance services. Property liability, 25 through 26 renewal. Canon Solutions, $234.79. This is for copier maintenance and copies. City of Harrisburg, $500 even. This is for contracted services, operator fees. DEQ, $2,508.48. This is for water quality annual invoice. Eurofins, EUROFINS, environment testing, $603 even. This is for biological oxygen and a number of other components for the water plant. HD, as in David Fowler Company, $133.30. This is for a 3/4 inch swivel nut. League of Oregon Cities, $765.32. Membership dues. Les Schwab, 71.10. Flat repair. Lynn Benton Tractor Company, $149.34. This is for a lift arm on the Kubota. Local Government Law Group. This is for our legal services, and that is $700 even. Nutrien, NUTRIEN, Ag Solutions, $4,971.60. This is for dust control. Kaylee, KAYLEE, Page, $5.05. This is for a deposit return. Pape Machinery, $154.54. This is for a U-bolt and Brackett. Leela Reed, $90.78. This is for a deposit refund. Chuck Scholes, $1,500 even. This is for contracted operator fees. Dan Sheets.
Sorry, I have a question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
How is that different from the Harrisburg bill?
That is a phenomenal question.
There's one water, one wastewater.
They both say they are for
Contract services.
contract services. That is correct.
He had to bring some of his
He had to
staff
bring some of
over,
his staff
I gotcha.
remember?
So
Yeah.
one's for him and one is for his staff.
That's what I would assume, and
Gotcha.
I'm just guessing, but I remember him saying he had to bring some of his staff over. Mark, do you remember?
They've been over here a few times.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
cool. Thank you.
The checks.
Yep.
Good. Is there any need to follow up on that, or are we happy with the response?
No, that's great.
Good, okay. Chuck Scholes, that was the $500, and that was for contractor fees, operator fees. Dan Sheets, $500 stipend. Uline, $2,250.73. This is for row bleachers. Valley Parts and Machinery, $181.35. This is for the Kubota and a battery. And hopefully not too painless, we've made it through the list. Not too painful, I mean, not too
Thank
painful.
you for reading through it.
There should be a stub on that
Yep.
doesn't get mailed.
Yep,
That would be good to have back too, so I can.
yep,
Right.
of course.
Right.
Yeah, you'll be able to cross-reference those.
Okay,
We said them for the public.
Yes.
so city administrator has read through them, so we've got our motion, they've been read through, we're ready to vote?
Yep.
Okay, all right, we'll start online. Counselor Lindner,
Yes.
Counselor Evans,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
and Counselor Ray.
Yes.
Thank you very much. All right. Never a dull moment, I tell you.
No.
All right, let's see what we got next.
I do agree with streamlining this a little bit because these are expenses that are already happened. We just need to pay them.
I totally agree. My problem is that if, say I provided the service for the city and I don't know what's coming out this month, I can't recuse myself and it's inappropriate for me to then vote on it. So it's nice to be able to know what you're voting on before you do it, so you don't mess up.
Mhm.
That's all I'm saying.
Gotcha, understood.
That's why I asked for the.
Right.
But I also think we should up the preset,
Well, I think there's ways we can do it that will eliminate that.
yeah, like a capital improvement plan type of thing.
So,
Okay.
but in the meantime, to make sure that it's all appropriate and on the up and up.
I'll prepare a very brief description and a couple of visuals for what I'm recommending, and we can discuss that next month if that works for
Perfect.
y'all.
Sounds good. Okay, more to come. All right, next on the agenda, we're gonna dive into the new business here. So the first item is resolution 2025-32. It's a resolution declaring the city's election to receive state revenues. This needed to be addressed last month, but it kind of slipped through the cracks, so we're gonna address it this month. And that resolution should be in your packet. Thirty-two, 2025-32. Oh, no. Oh, I thought we caught that. We'll scratch it out. It's
Yeah, I was
fine.
gonna say, I see what you said.
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
We'll go ahead and we'll put a line through it. It'll be okay. Okay, I just have to find my version of the resolution. Sure. So do we have any comments or questions on this? We typically will do this resolution with the other budget resolutions in June. Again, it was just one that kind of slipped through the cracks. It's one we do every year.
Right.
So if we don't have any comments or questions, we'll entertain a motion. Oh, there it is.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2025-32, a resolution declaring the city's election to receive state revenues.
I'll second.
Great, thank you. Any other comments or questions before we vote? Online, any questions? No? Okay. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and we'll vote. Counselor Ray,
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Lindner,
Yes.
Counselor Evans.
Yes.
Great, thank you. Okay, moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is resolution 2025-33. And this is a resolution authorizing the use of ARPA funds during the fiscal year 2023 through 2024 and fiscal year 2024 to 2025. That is in your packet as well. This is something that we've done in the past as well. So not terribly new, just routine-ish. Any comments, questions? Okay, if we don't have any comments or questions, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2025-33. Resolution transferring ARPA grant funds within the general administration and water reserve funds to the water and wastewater funds to cover ARPA expenses.
I'll
Second.
second. I'll go for it, Harry. Or whoever.
Me.
It was Counselor Ray,
Sorry, Counselor Ray.
You're all right.
your neighbor when you're here. Okay, any other comments or questions before we do our vote? Okay, we'll vote. Counselor Lindner,
Yes.
Counselor Evans,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Williams.
Yes.
Counselor Ray.
Yes.
Great, thank you. All right. Next on the agenda. So this is a discussion on LGIP interest. So,
Mayor Sheets.
yes, sir.
As Dawn is not here this afternoon and I'm still looking into LGIP from my position,
Right.
I'd like to recommend that the council table this topic until next month, and then we can return to you with a comprehensive overview.
Do you know enough to explain what LGIP interest is to the council, just so they know what it is?
Yes, the local government investment pool. So what happens is we take money out of that and we put it into the LGIP, which is a state-run account, which accrues interest, and that interest is distributed back to local governments. It's a way for you to take that funding and basically grow it through the interest that the state accrues on that account that they hold for you, although we maintain it in our own records.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. And it is specifically typically for things like capital projects and other types of expenses. We'll talk more about that in depth next month. If that recommendation is accepted by the council to table it.
So how do we feel about tabling till next month?
Doesn't bother me.
Okay.
It's fine.
Sounds good.
I don't know that we need an actual formal vote, do we?
I don't believe that you do, but
No.
if that's the direction that, because this was a discussion item anyway,
Right. this is
not an
good.
action item.
Right.
Right.
Counselor Williams, you okay with
I'm good,
tabling?
yes.
Okay. Counselor Linder, you said you were okay with it, is that correct?
Yeah, it seems like our agenda has plenty of other things to discuss already.
Oh,
so-
yes, we have all kinds of fun things. Counselor Evans, are you okay with tabling this for now?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, it is officially tabled. Okay, let's move on. All right, next item is planning contract. I'm gonna go ahead and just read the item and then well, TJ, I'll have you, if you want to add anything to whatever I have to say. So and I think TJ already mentioned this. So our planning contract was with Michael Bidwell, City of Philomath. That was part of resolution 2025-14. That contract, as Michael had to abruptly leave, unfortunately, we're very sad that he had to go. That contract ended on July 22nd. And we have our new city administrator who is resuming those planner duties. So basically this item here is just letting everybody know that that resolution essentially, I don't know if we just need to go officially reverse it or we're just saying, well, the contract's over, that's it.
Dissolving it.
It's, yeah.
So the way that the contract is written is it provides the administrator the ability to reply in writing that we're canceling the contract, and it has a 30-day closeout time. Of course, he's already left, and so that would simply be a procedural step.
Right.
That is one that I could take following this discussion.
Okay, all right. So, and I think I actually, when this all went down, I sent an email out to council as well, just as an FYI. So we're all aware, but I believe our new city administrator is well qualified to help us move forward as a planner. So I think we're okay. I think we're in a good place.
Yeah, and I agree. He can send the notice and make sure we have all of our i's dotted and t's crossed.
Okay. So does the council feel okay with that as well? Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I've got a question about the contract. So if it's, I mean, I assume that the agreement, because it's ending on July 22nd, whatever payment, I mean, prorated, I guess, for the month of July. I don't even know how the payment situation works. But
The payment was just by the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh, okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
And we're already past
Great.
the end.
Yeah. So is the rest of the council okay with?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I
So
don't,
a notice is just like you said,
Okay.
documentation to make sure we did it.
Just to
yeah,
check the box.
covering the backside, yep.
Will do.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's easy enough. Okay, next item on the agenda, mayor's authority to execute executive decisions on behalf of the city and the council. This was resolution 2025-15. I have suggested a date here of the end of September, just to give TJ sufficient time to transition. I don't believe in dumping everything in the kitchen sink on the man at the same time, because that was done to me. So this is a suggestion. That's all it is.
7:31 doesn't work.
Sorry. I'd like to give the man a little more time.
I think September 30th is great. That's a 3-month transition period for you
Yeah.
two to continue to partner together.
And it doesn't mean that he's not taking over the majority of it
Right.
anyway.
Right.
It's just in case you can say, I'm too busy.
So for clarification, I've spoken with Don, and one of the things that we've touched base with the auditors about is that I'll start signing accounts payable now. As the city administrator, there are certain things that I have to do if you have somebody in place doing that role. I will still continue to collaborate and coordinate with the mayor as he comes in each day. The handoff is going to be very helpful to know where things are buried and what to do in certain cases. I look forward to continuing to work with the mayor and appreciate this recommendation.
So all those skeletons are coming out of the phone.
Right.
Sorry.
So I don't know that we need a formal vote on that either. This is just a recommendation, really.
Yeah, 9:30 sounds reasonable.
Okay. Everybody on the council okay with that?
I support the recommendation.
Okay. Councilor Evans, you're okay with that? Yep. Okay. I see your head going up and down. Okay. All right. All right. So September 30th it is. The next item on our agenda is mayor stipend. So this was part of resolution 2025-21. Kind of in the same time frame, ending the stipend on September 30th. How everybody felt about that?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. Hey, Councilor Evans, are you in agreement as well?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay. All right, so we'll conclude that as well on September 30th. All right. The next item is on the top of the second page of the agenda. Temporary city employee pay increases. This was part of Resolution 2025-12, discussing the end of temporary employee pay increases during our emergency transition period. Again, this is a recommendation for the end of September. Did not know how council felt about that. but,
Assuming the higher level duties will move away from the city staff into the city administrator, I think it makes sense as well, and the timing seems appropriate.
Yeah, I agree with you, though. I'd like to make sure we document the differences in the work requirements to make sure that we're not, shorting anybody that's actually doing work. I mean,
Yeah, we can compare their previous job descriptions to what they will be doing in September or October 1st to make sure that it essentially returns to what they were originally doing. They've been doing a lot of extra work in the last 4 or 5 months.
yeah,
And we do have it documented in email. We kind of had a tracking system of it.
Okay.
can the Employee and Personnel Finance Committee give us a report on in September? To make sure.
Sure. We could do that.
Okay.
I mean, all three of these last 3 points kind of all tie together.
They do, yeah.
So, I mean, I can't see not doing this. It's just, I want to make sure we treat everybody right.
Definitely. Thank you. Good point.
Okay, any other comments around that discussion?
I do have one thought, Mayor,
Okay,
and
go ahead.
council, and that is that we are looking at the job description of one of our employees because we know
Yeah.
it has changed a lot
Yep.
just this year. And so, I mean, I've already shared this with a few people, but I do plan on putting together a salary survey to pull some market data this year, and we can use that time or, later this fall to also make sure everybody's position descriptions are up to date and current, and then see if there have been significant enough changes for some of those duties to stick, or if everyone's position descriptions are accurate compared to last year, except for that one employee.
And council, if I may, a couple of the items identified for my goals to achieve is to look at staff job descriptions, to look at staff pay, and to work with the committee specifically on that. So I think that is ending. If this is ending on the 30th of September and we're looking at a 30, 60, 90-day goals, those two things align very well in terms of the time frame and alignment. I think that by next month, we could probably have a little discussion on this, on whether we feel like we're hitting the kind of progress we would expect to see a third of the way between now and then.
Great. Yeah, that's great. Perfect. Thanks for the reminder. I didn't have the 30, 60, 90-day goals in front of me, so I appreciate that.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that I feel is important as we look at these job descriptions is identifying the amount of time spent in each bucket, in each category. Doesn't mean that they have to only spend that amount of time in that category, but we need to be sure where the majority of time is being spent. And I think that's unknown at this point. I think we have a ballpark idea, but it would be better to kind of hone in on that in moving forward.
Thank you, Counselor. Mark and I were actually just talking today. I will begin initiating regular one-on-one check-ins with all staff members.
Great.
So that includes a high-level sort of 50,000-foot view check-in. What have you done this week? What do you need help with? What are some ideas you have? But also there's going to be sort of a small little piece for them to return to me, which allows me to quantify what they're doing, where they're doing it, how often. And I think that that'll go a long way in giving you all the answers I think you're looking
Perfect.
for.
And that's so that we can ensure that we are giving them the appropriate pay, right? If they're doing the job and they're doing, these buckets at a certain percentage of time, then they need to be compensated appropriately. And so that's really and truly important for me, that they're being compensated accurately and representative of what their duties are.
And I would say that those interests align with those of staff, because when it comes time to demonstrate a raise, staff wants to be able to demonstrate, right? That they're doing a lot more.
Yes. 100% agree. Okay. All right. So it sounds like we're all in agreement on that as well. And we've got some follow-ups on it as well. So it looks like a report in September from the Finance and Personnel Committee, salary study, position description updates, just a really looking at everybody's job descriptions and determining if we've got it captured accurately or not. So
Just a heads up, that the salary study will probably be later in the year. It'll be after September.
Agreed. Thank you
Gotcha.
for saying that. I was thinking that a moment ago myself.
oh,
Counselor.
we can't lump it all together. What? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get the positions appropriately classified, but we want to make sure
Yes.
it's all tidied up before we start doing comp.
Yes, that would be logical.
I told my wife I was taking nights and weekends off, so most definitely.
Yep. Nope, that makes sense. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. Okay, any other comments or questions or anything other discussion around that point? Okay,
So I see a lot of this is happening in September, correct?
Mhm.
yes.
Okay. On a personal note, September is gonna be a bad month for me, so.
Okay, good to know. All right, next up on the agenda, staff training. So we have Shannon and she's our city recorder. We want to make sure she gets trained. So I'm hoping we can lean on the city of Harrisburg to help her get that training that she needs. So, and I think they will be more than happy to help us. So I was gonna recommend that, and TJ and I have talked about that. Also, the criminal justice information systems training, both Dawn and Shannon will need that if we continue to do court. So Harrisburg can also help us with that. So very handy. So if you folks don't mind, we'll go ahead and proceed with that.
Yep,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, okay. All right, next up. City Administrator conferences. So TJ and I were talking, actually, you had mentioned the Oregon Infrastructure Summit is coming up. And League of Oregon Cities, their annual conference is, I think, the beginning of October. And then actually you and I are going to a small cities conference in August. But the reason why I bring it up is the two that I mentioned, the Oregon Infrastructure Summit and the League of Oregon Cities conferences. I think the city administrator needs to go to those, especially after everything that we're about to go through with infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think the Oregon Infrastructure Summit would make a logical sense here. So basically TJ and I are just coming to you folks to essentially get your permission. And I think it'd be well worth the time and money to have them go to both.
As do I. I fully support it.
Okay. How about the rest of the council?
Agreed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I support.
And we do have a budget item for that
We
as
do.
well.
We do.
We've checked
Yes,
that, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. All right, let's get you signed up, TJ.
Thank you.
Mhm. Okay, next item. Oh, I've got city strategic goals. So it's that time again where we need to sit down with council and the planning commission and go ahead and discuss the strategic goals for the city. So we should probably plan something. I'm thinking we've got stuff going on right now, maybe a little later in the year, maybe, I don't know, October or something. I don't know what everybody thinks, but
After September, for sure. I
Yeah.
would say, yeah, October, November, whatever the council
Okay.
thinks, but after September, please.
okay.
I agree, later in the year.
I know, right? It's July is almost over.
Yeah.
My kids are already complaining, summer's almost over. Like, oh, good grief. Okay, so we'll look at the October timeframe. Okay. Okay. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to old business. So first up is the one-time UGB amendment update. I'll let you go ahead and.
Sure. Senate Bill
Okay.
1537 in the 2024 session permitted for local jurisdictions to expand their urban growth boundary. This is sort of a one-time, very, very rare instance. If anybody knows anything about Oregon land use planning, ever since 1969, when we passed the first 19 statewide planning goals. One of the few things you could not do was easily expand your urban growth boundary. This is how we're able to get our urban reserve lands for what we consider our 20-year population outlooks of the LCD asked us to think about how many people are going to move into the area over a 20-year period of time, and do we have a sufficient amount of land for that? Now, one of the things we want to make sure of is that we have a sufficient amount of land to attract people as well, right? Because you don't want to be thinking about it in terms of what capacity we have. We want plenty of capacity to be able to bring people into the city. More importantly, we want to be able to exclude certain lands that on paper look like they're ideal for expansion, but in fact are not. So I can give you a couple of those. For example, anything that's currently inside of the flood zone. So the FEMA mapped flood zones, if anybody's been following the FEMA buy-up and the restrictions that are placed on landowners who own property within those flood zones, there are significant restrictions on development there. And the state is still dealing with that right now with FEMA under the NFIP program. If there are lands with significant topography, and so we're talking about anything typically between a 5, 10, 15-degree slope, that's more challenging, a lot of cut and fill, and the costs go up. You're not building affordable housing if you're going to be building there. And oftentimes that doesn't make it even feasible if you're building middle income housing. More importantly, we want to make sure that we're thinking about the future of the city and the ability to expand. So with that, what we are doing is we are submitting an application through DLCD under Senate Bill 1537 that allows us to identify what lands we'd like to expand. We will be applying for that. This is the sort of the first step. The second and following steps are to bring the spatial recommendations to Planning Commission and then to City Council later on. Following approvals, of course, from the state. I've never been through this process. In fact, no planner in the state has been through this process because this is the first time. But rest assured, this is something that's good for us, and I look forward to guiding that process.
So what lands are we proposing then?
So right now, we need to be able to look at the map and find out where there is flat topography, where there aren't significant geological hazards. So if somebody does a geohazard report, it's not going to like liquefy and be a huge issue with seismic, where there aren't wetlands, and then start to identify areas where there aren't federal or state protected lands. And that is really going to be our path. So it probably won't be a nice, neat box at the corner of, the city. It's going to look more like kind of just sort of taking over of certain areas that are blank right now. That's my prediction.
Okay.
And the
But-
Brickyard is one of those properties, right?
The Brickyard, yeah, the Brickyard is an excellent property because that's also a potential former brownfield site, which is, there's lots of funding and opportunity there. But yes, ma'am, that is true. And it's flat, ready to build, providing there aren't significant constraints.
Oh, well, I guess what I was thinking is it probably does have significant constraints because in order for it to be developed, it needs to have a lot of landfill in it.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe. And I'm not sure where it is on the FEMA flood zone map, but I think it's lowish, but yeah, I guess we'll find out.
I think it is.
It is.
Yeah.
Is that right? I don't know. I'm so new. I don't know the answer to that.
Part of
Yeah,
it is,
it makes sense.
and the landfill is only part of it too. It's not all of the property.
Oh, is there a landfill too?
No, I mean. the
Oh,
parts-
to fill it up with land and dirt.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
There's a depression in the middle.
Yeah.
Got it. And there may be some removal of contaminants and some old hazardous materials that they might find. So there will likely need to be a phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessment on that. But what's nice is that we can make sure it's in the UGB. If it is, great. If it's not, absolutely, that's a site we'd want to bring in.
So then we can submit the application without having knowledge. I mean, we can still do the assessment after submitting the application.
Yeah, so really
Okay.
you start at the 50,000 foot view and say,
Okay.
yeah, we want to do this thing. And then you start going through the process of figuring out exactly what that means at the nuts and bolts of
Got
it.
it. Okay, thank you.
So the land behind the houses on North 10th Street, or excuse me, South 10th Street won't work because it's not flat. Is that correct?
Maybe. So just because there's some topography, there's some slope, doesn't necessarily exclude it from being developable. What we're looking for is we're looking for ideal developable lands. There are plenty of places where there's a slope and there's a house. What I'm trying to say is that the less cut and fill you have to do, the less groundwork you have to do, it significantly reduces the development cost for the developers, which obviously have an impact on the cost for rent or mortgage.
So the property on Coon Road, just west of Red Horse, acres there.
That's off of Orchard, right behind the new housing development.
Okay,
There's 50 acres, there's a 30-acre parcel and a 20-acre. It's basically flat. It's been farmed for
Yeah.
70 years, 80 years.
so here's what I'll say, by the way, and I appreciate you bringing this up and also the counselor's discussion on this. There is a process under which we reach out to property owners and talk to them about their interest in coming into the UGB. And so that's a piece too, because you have to have willing property owners if you're ever actually going to develop on that land. That outreach is a big piece of this project.
Any other comments, questions? No, thank you. Well, yes, it does. All right. 6.2 is moratorium update, water and wastewater capacity issues. I wish I wasn't sick. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. My report on this should be
It's in the packet.
in the packet.
Yep.
And I will see, especially for these longer ones, I'll add some page numbers for folks.
Mhm.
Here we go. So I will be bringing before council in September a draft moratorium, which we have provided for review to DLCD. The way it works, before the council can even consider a moratorium, a draft of that moratorium must be provided to DLCD so that they can read it and provide state oversight. And this is by law. So the purpose of my report is to outline the legally required and recommended steps for adopting and implementing a temporary moratorium on land development approvals due to insufficient public facility capacity as authorized under Oregon Revised Statute 197.505 through 197.540. I've also provided a calendar of required and recommended actions, which begin with the DLCD notice that I've just mentioned and end in final expiration or renewal of the moratorium. And I'll talk a little bit about those details here. On July 16th, just recently, the council held a special session and directed staff to initiate a development moratorium process. This moratorium is necessary due to significant constraints in the city's water and wastewater systems, which currently lack sufficient capacity to support new development beyond what has already been approved. On July 24th, staff submitted a formal 45-day notice to the Department of Land Conservation and Development, initiating a moratorium process in accordance with ORS 197520. Legal requirements. A public hearing may not be held sooner than 45 days after notice is provided to DLCD under 197.520.1. The moratorium is limited to areas where a shortage of key public facilities will occur. That is the entire city of Monroe. A corrective program must be adopted by September 30th, 2025, which is within 60 days of the effective moratorium. And the moratorium expires 6 months after the corrective program is adopted unless extended. The extensions may be granted up to 3 times, each for a period not exceeding 6 months. And with each of those extensions, we must provide 1, a written hearing, or excuse me, a public hearing. Number 2, a 14 days written notice to DLCD. So you must notify them again, this time 45 days ahead to tell them you're extending it, and provide written findings demonstrating that the problem still exists. There is reasonable progress being made towards that correction plan that we mentioned earlier, and a specific extension duration must be proposed, so a specific date. The calendar of actions that I provided begin with DLCD notice submitted on July 24th. That's our 45-day notice. The earliest we can hold a special session to consider that moratorium is September 8th, which is of course the first available date. The deadline to adopt a corrective program, and I want to just note that bullet point on that same page, that second bullet point up above, I noted September 30th, 2025. That is incorrect. The first time that we can when we must have the corrective program done is November 7th. So my math was wrong in the sentence above, but it was correct in the dates listed. My apologies. The initial moratorium expiration will be May 8th. And you have 6 months after adoption of the corrective program. The first extension will be April 27th, so just before that meeting at the end of the month. We'll hold a public hearing, again, 14-day notice. And then again, you kind of go back and forth with the first extension expiration and a second council meeting to extend it again, and so on and so forth, until the third and final expiration, which is November 8th of 2027. This is the cumulative 26-month time limit that any city in the state of Oregon is allowed to hold a moratorium for. So 2 years and 2 months, during which we must be moving at very, very earnest pace towards completing the steps identified within our corrective program. And that also must be approved by DLCD. We have to get funding and we have to work with our technical assistance experts. I've already done a significant amount of work reaching out to a lot of those folks to get this ball rolling. Staff recommends the following. Hold a special session on September 8th, 2025 to adopt the proposed moratorium ordinance following the DLCD notice period. Direct staff to prepare a corrective program for public hearing and adoption by November 7th, 2025. Establish the fourth Monday of each applicable month prior to expiration for public hearings on any new extensions to the moratorium. So like clockwork, every time it expires, we want to come to the council several days before that occurs, as I've outlined in the calendar previously. Provide DLCD with 14 days written notice prior to each extension hearing, which we will do, and maintain progress updates on infrastructure planning and funding to support findings for any future extensions, as those findings must be given to DLCD. We can't just say we're going to renew it again because we're going to do it. The attachments, and this was the letter I provided, is of course to DLCD. The attachments that you'll see next month when we consider it is the moratorium itself, but we are not considering that tonight. Yes, ma'am.
And I thought also that it's when we consider it. So even though we have that timeline could shift, correct? Because we can, as long as we have told them 45 days, we could actually take more than that to make the decision.
That's absolutely correct. You don't have to do it on day 46.
Right. That's why I just want to make sure. So that timeline could possibly shift.
Yeah, all of those dates would shift forward by the number of days after that.
Yeah.
This was.
I'm not sure I'm following. What was that?
So
September 8th is the
we-
earliest we can have it.
yeah, September is the
Oh,
earliest,
okay.
but we could have more deliberation in that time and that date could get pushed. So even though we do have those dates set out, as this is when it would happen or
This is the
could
most
happen.
aggressive.
An
We-
example timeline.
Exactly,
I
exactly.
see.
So there is some wiggle room. So
And-
I just wanted to
Thank
make sure
you.
that.
Yeah, and I identified September 8th as a Monday. I believe that's the second Monday of the month. And that seems to be a typical time to schedule a special session if we were to do so. But you're right. If it happens on September 10th, this whole calendar moves ahead 2 days.
Right. There's just some wiggle room. I just wanted to make sure that was
Yeah, understood.
put out there just in case.
And I have a follow-up question. Say that we request to extend it the third time and we still don't have all of our ducks in a row by the end of that, by the time that third and final extension concludes, that's when the government, the DCLG, steps in and just says, you guys didn't meet the goal. Now we're doing a levy, or what happens then? I know that this is what we decided in our work session and we're interested in exploring this, but I'm just so nervous about committing to something and then us not being able to finish it.
Yes, ma'am. You are correct. After the 26 months is when unsavory things happen, because we must be able to provide critical services to citizens. If the city cannot do that itself, this is why we have vertical integration of governments from federal, state to local levels. Somebody else does step in. That does have a significant cost on taxpayers and homeowners and property owners. And so this is not something that we want to see happen. I will mention that I am, I dare say, I'm really excited about the opportunity to bring some funding into the local community because there's funding out there. This is a big challenge and one that I came into this city with the intent to solve. That's a lot to take on, and I certainly can't say that's going to happen just because we started. But I do intend to work as hard as I possibly can, along with all of your assistance, to make it happen, Councilor Lindner.
Thank you.
And that's all that we can commit to.
I appreciate that. And I like your diplomatic use of the word unsavory. That was nice.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for outlining everything. It's very
this
helpful
is-
to me. I really appreciate the way you've presented it. It's top notch.
Thank you, Counselor.
I agree.
I'm a visual person, so I like to see it. All right. Any other comments or questions on the moratorium update? Nope. Okay, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. The next item here, another almost as equally challenging project is city emails and new city website.
If they were all as challenging as this one, I'd have a much easier task ahead of me.
This is these two in particular.
This one actually is not as easy as you think it should be. So
My point.
one of the first things I did coming on board is I said, wait a minute, we have two websites, what's going on? Mayor Dan, very, very quickly, one of the first things we did was coordinated a meeting with our tech folks, and I was able to get my head wrapped around what's going on. And I've put together some information about our website specifically, because while we go down the road of building a WordPress website, I wanted to bring to your attention that it is not at all compliant with new requirements that have been set forth by the Department of Justice at the federal level and delegated down to states, who then enforce them onto local governments. And so what I'll do very briefly is just go over this report and provide you some information that I think will be relevant for you. So what I wanted to do was, of course, inform you that the DOJ developed digital accessibility mandates, which require state and local governments to comply with essentially what's called WCAG 2.1, which is basically just the way that we comply with images, optical character recognition, and other types of documents on websites for people who are visually impaired or have other types of impairments. The goal here is I'm going to explain Oregon's implementation timeline, and then confirm our current WordPress site is not compliant. I have done that. And then outline legal and oversight risks, as well as propose transitioning to an accessible platform. And I'll talk a little bit about who I've talked with and what they're recommending. So the federal mandate, in 2018, the DOJ essentially reaffirmed that it is supporting ADA through digital access. So websites are part of the ADA. All public entities must ensure websites and digital content are accessible to individuals with disabilities. The policy results from numerous enforcement actions over many years. The legal precedent and purpose, there's been dozens of lawsuits, and the goal here is to ensure equal access and inclusion to government services. The state directive. So the state has taken the DOJ's April 2027 deadline for all governments in the United States. So the federal government doesn't care if Monroe, Oregon is compliant until 2027, April. The state of Oregon moved it forward a year, and they said you must do it by April 2026. So, you know, we want to be high achievers, essentially. All public entities, by the way, cities, counties, school districts, special districts, we must bring our websites, PDFs, mobile applications, and other digital materials into full compliance. And the state will monitor compliance and may withhold funding or engage in even legal enforcement against non-compliant jurisdictions. ADA is one of those policies that are significantly monitored. There's a lot of oversight. Current website. So first off, it's non-compliant. We don't have the adequate color contrast. There's missing alternate text on images, non-semantic headings, and missing form labels, uncaptioned multimedia. Every time you add a document or multimedia to a website, you need to make sure that that thing you're adding, the text you're adding, the thing you're doing is compliant. And everything that we have essentially falls short of this. I have had the opportunity to meet with Stan, and Stan took a look at some of this, and I haven't heard back from him yet, but I look forward to hearing his assessment as well. Risks and consequences, there's state oversight and penalties, legal action, liability exposure, reputational risk. So it's not necessarily just a fine. It could just be somebody complaining in a way that doesn't look well for the city. Opportunity and next steps. So new domain and transition window. So we've already identified and purchased a new domain. That transition is in place right now. It's moving a little slowly, quite slowly. We're well positioned right now to pivot and adopt a fully accessible website rather than attempting to piecemeal retrofit what we have right now. This change aligns with our rebranding efforts and ensures future compliance from the launch forward. So rather than spending money on a site that isn't going to be compliant and take a long time to get to where we need to be, we can move a lot faster, get compliant, and provide the services that citizens need. For example, a better calendar and much better interactive tools on that website than what currently is there.
Did I just see what?
TJ,
Yes,
I've
she
got-
did.
You saw it.
I jumped.
Oh
my God.
Yep.
As long as it's not a spider.
No, it's a rat.
Hey, TJ, I've got a couple of comments or questions about the ADA forms.
Yes, ma'am.
I just helped our department where I work update a bunch of our forms to get them ADA compliant. So I am versed with PDFs, although I know you didn't recommend PDFs and I don't recommend PDFs, like fillable PDFs. I think you mentioned that we're moving toward Microsoft Suite. And I believe Microsoft has a Forms product, and I really strongly recommend we use that if you've not already considered it.
Yep, I'm 100% there with you, Counselor.
Awesome.
Linder.
Okay, and I'm sorry I didn't even think about our forms earlier this year. I was knee deep in other stuff.
Oh, that's okay.
We were thinking about a lot of other things. It's okay.
It's right there. Yep.
Are you guys freaked out about a spider?
It's actually a mouse.
Aw.
Come on, Mark. I think it's more like
Drill
a
it.
rat. 'cause
Mark.
no hair on the tail.
Oh, is that how you tell? No hair on the tail.
What
Okay.
is it?
It's a rat?
It's a mouse.
It's a mouse. Oh my gosh.
Pump it up.
It's not a rat.
It's like the,
I'm a little bit freaked out.
this
I'm
is like the
not gonna
Christmas
lie.
vacation squirrel scene.
It's not
you
gonna
know?
hurt you.
Do you see it? Do you see it?
No, that's kind of.
Yeah, it'll just go probably in one of those closets.
We don't have.
It's not gonna come
I
over
think
here
I'm
by
gonna
you.
sit over
I
there
don't think
because I
there's
can
anything
scope it
otherwise in the
out.
building.
Switch, you can swap. Yeah, then you'll be more comfortable. Were you done with what you were saying?
No, we're still
Sorry.
in the middle of
I'll
it.
mention that there's a lot of staff time that goes into updating the website. A significant amount of staff time that goes into updating the website that we have now. One we're recommending is a plug and play. So it significantly reduces staff effort, which you have to really consider in terms of dollars and cents as well. The platform solution, I've recommended Civic Plus. I've already had a discussion with Civic Plus. They run websites from New York City to Philomath, Oregon. So Philomath actually has Civic Plus in place as well, as do the vast majority of our counterpart cities in the region. The pricing model is population-based, so we get a good price. And I have received a preliminary quote, which is attached following my report.
Mhm.
They offer ongoing accessibility support, training, and tools to help maintain compliance over time, as well as they provide IT support 24/7. You can call them up and fix the thing that's broken, which is extremely helpful and something that we can't get for the kind of price that we're being offered here. My recommendations are for the council to consider and authorize the city administrator to prepare a Civic Plus contract for consideration with budgetary constraints. Establish a compliance timeline to meet Oregon's 2026 deadline, which this would do, including a site audit, which I've already completed, as well as remediation, staff training, and periodic testing. And then I'd also like to recommend that we inform council of ongoing accessibility and monitoring to commit to reporting progress at regular intervals. So every 3 months, I would roughly come to you and let you know how we're doing. What is attached is the types of services that are provided by Civic Plus. I want to encourage folks to look through that, where it begins with the federal rule. It goes through a couple of steps through 11, and then the Civic Plus Web Central Starter Summary provides a company overview, and lists out all of the different types of things that they provide to the city, everything that's included. There are some add-on services that we likely would never use, but they make them available anyway, just in case you are a New York City or a Portland. The price that they have offered to the city is $3,000 per year, which is incredibly reasonable considering that you get hosting, management, and all of the clean packages and portals you need to put together a full site.
Sounds less than we'd be fined if we didn't.
This is true.
Well, there is that. Yes.
Their resident portal looks really cool on that page that shows all the different apps they have. So we
Yeah.
can pick and choose from that. It's like a cafeteria plan kind of thing.
It is, yes. There's 6 different like templates, formats that they give you. You can go look at Philomath's website. They picked one. The city of Tillamook, city of Wheeler, city of Nehalem, those are some of the places I've worked very recently. They all use Civic Plus. You can even go to their website and look for other cities around the country. And they kind of show you some small and medium and big size cities. I recommend checking that out. The most important thing though, that I want to point out there is accessibility for the public, being able to see when meetings are held, much more interactive, being able to click on documents and interact with the materials we're providing to them. Things like adding maps or adding lists or adding other materials on the website is very quick and easy to do. And also just having staff time to do this stuff. If you go on the WordPress website, I went on there today. If anybody's worked with a WordPress website, it feels like the internet in 1995, right? It's just very complicated and clunky. And there's a lot of things that can break. And when they do break, which plugin was it, right? There's just a lot of troubleshooting. This streamlines things. And I think that honestly, the amount of time that we're getting back almost justifies the cost on its own.
And it'll also make our website just look like it exists in 2025 and not 1990.
The interactive ability is really promising for me. I think that's really something that we're lacking and something that would be very beneficial for our community.
Right. And which counselor brought up, well, I go on my phone. I forgot who said that.
I think it was Councilor Evans.
Councilor Evans.
Yeah, you know, and you're absolutely right. What this does is this is multi-device optimization built in. All of that tech stuff happens in the background and it's their problem. We simply pay them to do it.
Does it have audio too?
Yes, it has, because that's part of the ADA.
Part of the ADA, that's
Yeah,
what I was thinking.
absolutely right.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And we don't have that now, so.
We do not.
I mean, any way you look at it, we have to spend the money.
There are other providers out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I want to be very clear because we are a government agency. There are other providers out there. I am recommending Civic Plus based on my experience working with them and the fact that they have about 80% of the market share in the country of government agencies. If council wanted to direct me to look at other options, that is something I could do. But I wanted to bring this to you because this is the one that I trust and feel is really the best tool out there.
I mean, I would be interested in seeing maybe 3, just if you've got time, like this one and maybe 2 others, just to compare them.
Absolutely.
So
If
we
that's
can
what
just see
council
what else is
wants.
out there. So far, the Civic Plus website looks great, but we don't really have much to compare it against except for WordPress, and that's like apples and oranges.
Fair enough. Other counselors, what are your thoughts?
I'd agree with Linder.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt to look at other ones.
I think a comparison would be good.
Just to see like how cost compares and what you get for it.
Yep.
We have to do our due diligence, I
I
suppose.
was just about to say,
Exactly.
do our due diligence. Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is council's directing me to identify some other estimates from other platforms, and I'll provide those at a later date.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
2 more maybe, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we don't want to wait too long.
No, I was thinking I'd like to do that at the next work session rather than waiting until the next council meeting. I don't want to go another 30 days. When we do pull the trigger, if it were to be with Civic Plus, and I suspect with even a competitor, they're talking about a 30-day transition time, sometimes even quicker.
We'd have to have a special session because we can't make a decision in a work session.
This is
Right.
true.
You could make a
But-
decision at the following meeting, but
Well,
you,
know, if we want to give it to you faster.
you're right.
Yeah,
You're
we do
absolutely
a
right.
special. Yeah. If you want to go
Yeah.
faster. Yep.
And actually, I wouldn't mind if you email me if the email worked, right?
Well,
Those
that should be,
options.
email should be fixed soon.
My email.
Yeah,
You guys have problems sending it to it.
I know, but we're working on it.
Yeah, if you wanted to hold a special meeting, you could absolutely do that. If you were concerned that the website that we have now would be ripped down in August, that might be a good idea. We could always wait till the next meeting, though. That is,
So we do know that, well, from prior correspondence, that the former city administrator does plan on pulling the original, soon to be old website down the end of August.
Yeah.
So we do know that. We have the other website, but it's not ADA compliant. So we're gonna kind of hang out with it for a little while in this transition period till we go to the new one.
we're good on the ADA compliance until April.
Right. So
What
I
I
mean,
wanna
we're
s-
okay,
What
but
we don't want to do, though, is if we know we're transitioning, we don't want to pay more money and ask for an external, consultant to continue to build out a site
right.
if we're not going to be using it. And so the sooner the better if we know we're doing this.
Yep.
Right.
Correct.
Well, at this point, I mean, we know that Civic Plus will meet our needs. It'll be compliant on multiple levels. There's evidence that they are being used and supported by other local governments in Oregon and across the United States, it sounds like. I mean, what are we budgeting right now currently? What's our budget look like?
What was it? Was it 6,000?
Yeah, currently we have $6,000 for IT. This would be half of that. We've only currently paid our web person about $650. So the vast majority is still there.
I'm comfortable with just proceeding with Civic Plus. I don't need a comparison. I think the due diligence has been done. It's compliant across the board. We can try it out for a year, and if it doesn't fit, then we can do a new search, but we'll have time to be able to do it appropriately. We just don't have the time.
Another thing that I could recommend to y'all to try to bridge these two, because I hear what you're saying. If you wanted to move forward with that recommendation tonight, I could return at the work session to report on if there are any other competitors out there. I don't believe that there are. I did do a back of the envelope search on competitors to Civic Plus the other day. I didn't go deep dive.
Mhm.
I kind of like what you're saying, it's kind of changing my mind a little bit. The one thing I don't see here is it's $29.58 annual subscription fees, but is there a commitment of a certain period that you have to do?
No, there's no commitment. It's an annual deal.
Okay, so that,
I support if it's annual then, if we're not
Yeah.
like booked into a 5-year or 10-year contract or something.
yeah, so that takes a little bit of the
Mhm.
onus off of us as far as if we go on it now, we can dump it in a year if it doesn't work or we find something better.
And it frees up our personnel time to be able to focus on things that really matter rather than like website maintenance and support. That's just a big headache.
Yeah, absolutely. I will mention, and I know this is in your packet, but just for mentioning it on the quote here, where does it show? It shows, I think it's like $600.
Yeah, you're talking about the one-time
650 for an
standard.
implementation.
Yes, the $650 for
Yeah.
implementation. That's to take our current website and turn it into a clean website. And I want to just mention the value of that alone. They're going to take all the many different pages that we don't need, these dead links and things, and get rid of them. Have one simple streamlined set of pages. That'll clean up our HTML very nice. And if we did choose to migrate to another company or provider the following year, we can just grab that and
It'll be a lot easier.
yeah, a lot easier.
It seems like a
Fresh
great
start.
And knowing IT
It's-
costs.
it's
is
very
really
messy right
reasonable.
Yeah, I know.
I knew you'd appreciate that. Yeah, $650 though to basically get the thing set up.
Are you talking about using the new website, going from that?
It will be the new website URL. However, the look and feel of it would be much more what you would expect to see from a government agency.
And can I point out that the website optional add-ons all have different pricing? So for the accessibility with Audio Eye, that's an additional $2,500 per year, which I'm sure is fine. But I mean, this is kind of what I was wondering is like, how much do we pay extra for each functionality?
Which one are you looking at?
Probably not going to be 3,000 flat each year if we're going to add on.
Website optional add-ons.
Accessibility with Audio Eye.
Yeah, I don't know what Audio Eye is, but they meet the requirements, the DOJ requirements with the flat package. I don't know what Audio Eye is, but they do these, it's a lot of other add-ons that they offer.
Got it. Okay, so the base inclusions has the accessibility stuff already, not the Audio Eye, but at least the standard meets the expectation kind of thing.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Because you gotta list of the basic inclusions right there.
Mhm.
So do you need a vote from us for this decision?
I would like a vote, yes.
We can make a motion, yeah. that we
Okay.
adopt it
All
right
right.
now.
Okay. Who would like to make a motion? Okay,
I'll make a motion that we adopt this proposal for Civic Plus to be our website host. Is it a host also?
Yeah.
Host with the one-time standard implementation of $650 to transfer our current website over and the annual subscription fee of $2,958. And then we can evaluate at the end of a year.
Mhm.
who would like to second?
I'll second.
Okay. Okay, any other comments on?
I just want to
Discussion.
clarify that is within the budget that we have
It is.
provided and we'll be okay.
I can confirm it is.
When he pitched it, I asked the same question.
I just like to confirm.
Mhm.
He did say that already, but I like to make sure that it's.
Nope, it's fine. Okay. There aren't any other discussion, questions, comments? We ready to vote? Okay.
I have one quick,
Oh, go
so
ahead.
we're certain that the base inclusions will be compliant with ADA. Okay,
Yes, and if you'd like to include that as a component of your motion, that's
I would say so, yes. But
I don't know how to word that.
revise your motion.
I'll admit, revise my
Go back.
motion to include that this package must be compliant with the ADA rules coming out effective April 2026, enforced by the state, I should say.
And I'll second.
Understood.
All right, very good. Okay, shall we vote? Counselor Ray,
Yes.
Counselor Williams,
Yes.
Counselor Cuthbertson,
Yes.
Counselor Myers,
Yes.
Counselor Lindner,
Yes, with a note that, just for the record, it's a requirement by the Fed, not the state. So yeah,
that's true, that is
Oh,
correct.
gotcha.
Thank you.
just for the notes, for the minute.
The deadline was the same, sorry.
Yeah, the state makes us a year earlier.
Yep, Counselor Evans,
Yes.
great, thank you. There you are, sir.
Excellent. I have a meeting scheduled for Friday that I had just put on the calendar in hopes that this would go positive. So I will meet with them on Friday. I'll also mention that Shannon has email as of today. So things are moving along.
At last. Already
only-
put it to use.
Lucky you, huh?
Okay, thank you very much, Council.
All right, what do we got up next? Let's see here. Oh, Charter Spectrum's franchise agreement. So it is still with Charter Spectrum Legal Counsel right now. So I was hoping, I was being terribly optimistic apparently. So maybe next month we'll have an agreement. So stay tuned. Now we're up to Public Works update. Mark, do you have anything more you'd like to add?
Kind of hit on it a little bit, inspection, leak test going on. We're also, after this inspection, gonna be looking at getting the equipment we need to clear the wastewater outfall. So we can get that done as well, 'cause that's also due in September.
Okay.
Else At the moment.
Because I'm gonna roll you into the next agenda item.
See that?
So city equipment sales.
Still moving on it, but kind of slowed down. As I said last time, I found a grant that we're gonna look at together to try and replace all of our old diesel equipment. And it's a pretty substantial grant and they've given some pretty good money to other entities around us. So if we could replace what we have, and they take care of what we have, then that would be great.
Right,
There's
that would be
quite a few
great.
pieces of equipment I think we could utilize.
Definitely.
So that's kind of on hold. I've been approached by a couple entity, well, one entity, about the old bricks that we have, a stockpile of, those are for sale. That would be the VFW. They still want to do a memorial. I told them to reach out to you. They want to take the bricks and engrave local veterans' names on them and make a nice memorial somewhere.
Right.
So I
Gotcha.
told them
I
to have
remember
some
that.
discussion for
Yeah.
council and the city administrator.
Yeah, I think they're looking at the courtyard right outside the museum.
That is one of their options they discussed.
Yeah.
They're looking at options.
I know they have a couple other places. We're looking at the cemetery too.
Nice.
And then the rest of the stuff is kind of just random odds and ends, kind of junk that should just be thrown online if we can, or the old Christmas trees, somebody will want those. The stove and the dishwasher and fridge and all that stuff.
Yeah, okay. All right, keep us posted. We don't have Dawn tonight, so I don't know that we're gonna be able to get any sort of accounting or general administration update. So I think we'll just skip over it tonight. Planning Commission update. TJ, did you want to give that any sort of update on that or?
Sure. I look forward to my first planning commission meeting. I have not had that yet.
Oh, it'll be
but
soon.
It will be soon, and it's on my calendar.
Good.
But rest assured that I look forward to meeting that group, and we've got a lot of business to get to. So look forward to a more comprehensive update next month.
Okay, very good. Counselor Linder, do you have a finance and personnel committee update you'd like to provide?
We're meeting this Wednesday and we have a very full agenda for this Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. All right, moving on into city events. So we've got the Blackberry Jamboree on August 30th. We got the First Responders Appreciation Day on October 4th. We have the Monroe Oktoberfest also on October 4th. That's what I have right now, although I wonder why I left the Halloween Spectacular off. I did. That's coming up, of course, on Halloween. Beyond that, kind of skipping down to other business now. Economic development. We're going to try and have a meeting here.
I got my calendar out. I was gonna write it
on
down right
August
away.
21st.
It's like, please. let's have one.
And Councilor Linder already mentioned the finance and personnel meeting on Wednesday.
Could I mention very briefly?
Yes,
Mayor?
sir.
Counselor Myers, I recommend that you'd go look at the COGS Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy. And that is looking for public comment right now, especially as a representative of the city of Monroe.
Okay.
And because that might provide you some information to bring back to committee, and it
Yeah,
might
that'd
give
be
you some
good.
information to give to them as well.
That'll be good. Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
Now, we currently don't have anything for the ordinance committee, but maybe in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Parks is tomorrow night.
Parks is tomorrow night.
Public Works, we're gonna get one scheduled here.
Yeah,
At some
I'm-
point.
I'm ready whenever. I just don't know.
Right.
I know you guys have been buried
Uh-huh.
and I know you are just so brand new and we've had a lot of things that are hot topics, so, but we do need one soon. But I'd also like to see Chuck be there and
Yeah.
I don't know, his schedule's real tight.
Sounds like the next week or two are pretty darn busy right now.
Yeah,
So,
with all the,
yeah.
And don't worry about me. This is like the most critical thing for the city. The city can't operate without those things. And so I'm prioritizing that.
Yeah, I think after this weekend, Chuck's gonna be freed up a little bit.
yeah, and
Yeah,
that's
that's
fine. I
obvious,
just
that's
don't
fine.
want to put more pressure on you guys because it's been like on fire, so.
Appreciate that.
Then the previously mentioned planning commission meeting. So we've requested to move it from, it was originally on Monday, the first Monday of the month, and we moved it to Tuesday for Michael.
Right.
And now we're moving it back to Monday. So that's where we're at. Any counselor comments online or in the room? Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Add?
I have a comment. It would be great if we could do another staff, council and commission gathering of some kind, just like a for fun thing. I know now is not a good time, but maybe around the holidays or early next year, just to get everybody together. I don't think the commission or the council has ever been together outside of a council commission meeting. And it'd be great to have those two groups and all the staff.
Like a get to know you kind of thing.
What was that?
Like a get to know you kind of thing.
Oh, just like, I don't know, just like an ugly sweater party or a potluck, just something fun and stupid, like just a fun thing.
I just took
Oh,
all my.
it's been a
ugly
long time
sweaters
since
and
we've done anything like that. We
Right.
had a potluck a couple of years ago and it was Fiesta themed and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Counselor Linder, is this you volunteering to do the planning for this?
Yeah, I can help with that.
Sounds like a new committee to me.
I'm in, by the way. I will assist with that, of course, as well.
Awesome, thank you. We could talk about it after September.
After
Sounds good.
September, yes. Any other counselor comments? I don't have any comments. I've talked long enough tonight.
Same.
So I'm going to go ahead and adjourn us for the evening. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Tomorrow I will be